AppStream 2.0 by Amazon, we're going to go through the steps of building apps for you for your workforce. Now, why would you need AppStream 2.0? Well, it's a simple method of giving your workforce a virtual desktop. You could just try it out for free, or you could get started. Amazon has made it very simple for you to test it out, and we'll just start with the sample applications. Amazon has built one with a few of the free Office applications like Notepad++, but later on we can create our own image. I'm just going to show you how simple it is to get this going and why you would want to use it. One use case for myself is if I'm traveling and I lose my laptop. With AppStream 2.0, I will always have a desktop available to me that is very secure. So here we are building the stack, which is what you have to do first, and if you just accept all the defaults, it's pretty much a no-brainer. So we go through this, and there are some options that you can put in there, but they're optional, and we don't have to worry about that right now. So just go here, click Next, and we can continue moving forward. Here is the package that we want to use. This is the image, and it shows you all the applications that are included right here. We can configure a fleet for our usage. That's what they call the type of desktop that the user gets in this fleet. On demand, this means that when someone needs access to it, they will log in, but the system will make them wait for about 1 or 2 minutes while they provision the instance. Always on is something that is readily available, and as you would have guessed, the cost is higher if it's always on. Here you could set up the fleet capacity, so if you have one user you only need one available. But let's say you're setting this up for 100 people, you could scale from 1 all the way to 100, and that is amazing because you don't need 100 all the time. If you have 20 users logged in, then you'll have 20 instances of this fleet running, which keeps your costs down. Once again, accept all the defaults. This one is very important. If you want your users to save files, then you can enable home folders. The users will continue to save the files to their home directory. AppStream 2.0 also integrates nicely with Google Drive and OneDrive. But we don't need to do that now. There are many similar things that you have with other virtual environments. Do you want to allow them to copy and paste from their workstation to this virtual environment? If you want them to print, etc. Nothing different than any other virtual environment. Here is where you could set up application setting persistence. What does this mean? Let's say they log into Chrome, and they want their bookmarks to be saved for the next time they log in. If not enabled, they would have to log into Chrome every day. Now we review, and we will get it going. And here we click on Create, and it will create this for us. We see a little message letting us know that we will be charged for this. And here we go, our stack is created, and it just gives us some of the details about it. Some of these can be modified as needed. Now this is the part that we want to look at. The stack will be in starting, but we want it to be in a running state. It takes a while for it to switch over to running, so we just have to sit back, drink some coffee and wait. Now one of the nice features of AppStream 2.0 is the different images that you could use. The different user pools, directory configs that you can use. As we sit here waiting for this to change to the running state, there are other things we could do. In this example, we will only use a local user pool, which basically means you're creating the user accounts, and they're just here locally. They're not part of your Active Directory. But we could use a directory service like JumpCloud or Okta. For now, we will stick to local user accounts. Here we see our fleet details and the usage. It has already created the one that we want. Scaling policies, and like I said, we only left it at 1:1 because we don't want to incur the charges, but you can scale all the way up to whatever you want. It is very convenient and practical, no VM servers to bring up, no physical servers to provision. And here AppStream 2.0 would create the user. All you have to do is put in the email, first name, last name, and you create the user. They will receive an email with their login information and password. The user will receive an email with a specific link that they use to log in because it's specific to this particular setup. And once the user is created, you assign them a stack. We're assigning them the example stack we created with all the default applications. Here's the email that a user would receive. They receive the login page link, email address will be the one that they use to log in, the password that they need to use. And it's a good idea that you let your users know that they need to save this link, so they could use it in the future. Here we are going to log in, and if we recall, this is an on-demand type of stack, so when the user logs in, and for the first time, let's say the first thing that day, and they click on an application, it will take some time to start. And once they log in, it takes about 2 minutes. It's not too bad. Once we log in, you could see the applications that are available to you. The applications that are part of this example stack. Here we clicked on Notepad++, and I am demonstrating that you could write and save your modifications. If you recall, we set up home directories for our users. This creates an S3 bucket that saves their particular files. But if you could see here, it might take a little bit of training, because this is not a full desktop experience. When we configure this, we configured it as an application view. AWS AppStream recently came up with a desktop view. And here you could see that I am saving the file to my home directory, and it will persist. If I log out and come back tomorrow, my files will still be there. One thing to note is that you always have to come back to the dashboard to access a different application. It's very important to note that AppStream is not meant to be your user's complete desktop. It is meant to run critical applications that you can provide or enable for your users. It is not meant for them to stream music, play video games, and so forth. In other words, it is meant for work, not playing around. Unless their job is streaming music or playing around. Now let's configure a new stack. This will be a custom stack with only the applications that we want to enable. When we look at our existing configuration, we could see the different options. Here we will run the image builder, and we will select the image that we want to use. There are images for different configurations. You might need one for graphic-intensive applications. In this case, we will just select a general use image. Once you create an image, it won't be available for you to use with other stacks. We give our image builder a name. We selected the instance type and we allow internet access from within the instance. No, not everyone needs internet access from their instance. There are use cases where users only run one application within AppStream. Once we provision this image builder, it will stay in the pending state for quite some time. As the name says, this image builder is only used to create your image, and we have to wait until it's in a running status, then we can connect to it. When we connect to it, we can start the process of building the image. And this takes us through the several steps that are needed. You first connect as an administrator. You run the Image Assistant application. The Image Assistant application is what allows you to install apps into the image that your users will see. As you can see, there are no applications installed. We install just as we would on a regular desktop. In this example, we will only install Chrome and Notepad++. We will pretend that these are the only two applications allowed on this instance for our users. The process is exactly the same as installing an application on your desktop. You download the app and you run the setup. After the applications are installed locally in the image builder, you proceed to add the app. The way to do this is by locating the executable file. And here you could see that for Chrome the executable file was not where I thought it would be, so it took a little bit of looking around in the different program files folders. And to install Notepad++, we go through the same setup. We download the file, and then we run the executable. Once it's installed on the image builder, we can select to install it in our image for our users. We click on Add App. We find the executable. And once it's added, we click on Next. This is very simple, very intuitive. The process will tell you what steps to do next. And it will go back and forth between administrator to template user, and back to administrator as many times as is needed in order for the application to run properly. The Image Assistant app will help to ensure that the application runs correctly. If it runs within this environment, it should run for your users. There are many settings that we could set, even Windows settings, application settings, browser preferences. There are options to make Chrome the default browser. Once everything is configured, it will ask you to test the application. The Image Assistant will, like I said, go back and forth between the administrator and test user. And it will ensure that the application runs successfully. One of the final steps is to allow every application to load, and once it loads, you hit Continue. We return to the image builder page, and we will see that our image builder is snapshotting. Finally, we get to save our image. In order for this to continue, we have to disconnect and create the image, and although it says your session cannot be started, retry, we really cannot. We must wait until it is stopped. The next step is to create a new fleet. And we can accept most of the defaults that are here. And now we see our image. When we see the image we created, it houses the applications that are installed on that image. And once again we will choose the on-demand to keep our costs down. And in this location with this fleet we will use the desktop view. This will allow our users to view what seems to be a fully functional desktop. After we create the fleet, the status will turn to starting. And we must wait until the status changes to running. For this example, I will create a new stack. I want to show that we can enable multiple streams for one user. After the stack and fleet are created, we can assign it to our user. And we could see that our user now has access to both AppStream virtual environments. And this user also continues to have access to the files he created earlier. The stack that we are using now only has Chrome and Notepad++. One use case for assigning multiple stacks is to test changes. We can change an existing environment and allow a subset of our users to test the new stack. Once all applications are tested and we verify that everything is working, we can migrate the stack to use the new environment. With the desktop view, the user sees a similar Windows environment. This could eliminate the learning curve from the application view. We really enjoy using AppStream 2.0. It has been very beneficial for travel. It has enabled a very secure environment for us. If you are having difficulty setting this up, please contact us, and we will be more than happy to help. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We will have many more tutorials coming soon.